Hello everybody, and welcome back to the King Fox channel. My name is Matt Conager, and I'm building a Kit Fox Model 7 STI. In this episode, I'm working on the center console for the flap handle and the adjustable rotor pedals. I got the prefab section, so I didn't have to mill these things out of a block of aluminum, which is pretty nice, and like the manual says, would have saved me a ton of time because I don't think that would be very fun. A few things I noticed last night. I got a little disgruntled, but I countersunk the outer screws on these two brackets here, which are going to go towards the outside, and they need to be a little thinner, so it's obvious that you need to use that head in there because you're going to shave a little bit of this aluminum off. But then there's a optional instructions tab, and when I first got the manual I did read through it and I made notes, and in my notes I said see the prefab instruction kit. So I turned back to that page, and I noticed in here that it's talking about replacing bolts that the instructions tell me to use. It also doesn't tell me to use that countersunk screw, which I've already put in. And then that I'm supposed to use different rivets than I have. I don't have these rivets that I'm supposed to have. So I sent Kitbox an email last night. They got back to me this morning.
You got mail.
John again told me not to use the options tab, that the instruction manual has been updated. That has not. So since I've already countersunk those and used those screws, I'm going to stay with those screws, but I followed the rest of the instruction manual and I'm going to use the rivets that are listed here instead of the rivets in the options tab. So that's what I'm working on today, and let's get into it. Thanks. I may have made a possible error. No, actually I did make a possible error. So I've drilled everything and match drilled it to the bottom. Clee coat it to hold it in place. I just put it in the fuselage and match drilled the holes to what's in the fuselage. And then went to the next step of the instructions, and now it tells me to put it back in the airplane, run the flap handle back up through there, and then move the flap handle forward and backwards until the detent of the flap handle goes into those notches right there, and then clamp it in place and drill the holes. So I'm going to have to do that because the flap handle hits on the forward stop and doesn't quite go to the detent. So that's exciting. And it also tells me to do something similar to that for the adjustable rudder pedals, which I've also drilled and countersunk. But the difference is I have yet to install the hardware for the adjustable rudder pedals. So maybe I have to skip forward. I'm not sure. Probably another email to Kitbox, but we'll do that tomorrow. Since I just had to move this bracket, I have these extra holes here, which are going to be covered by fabric, I think. But I also have all these holes here. And yeah. So I think I'm gonna make a suggestion to Kitbox, because perhaps I should have thought about it myself, but if I had to clamp this in place, bolt it in place, clamp this in place, move the flap lever handle to where it needed to go, and then clamp this to this, and then drill it, then I probably should already have had the adjustable rudder pedal handles installed, so I could do the same thing for these. So I'm gonna flip ahead, I guess, and install the adjustable rudder pedal handle so that I can undo these, reinstall this, bolt it in, adjust the adjustable rudder pedal lever so that it detent fits in those holes, clamp this to this, and then re-drill them all. Hello everybody, and thanks for watching today's episode. I hope you liked what you saw, maybe learned something from my mistakes. This will be the conclusion to this episode. The next episode will be installing adjustable rudder pedals, and you can see how many holes I actually had to drill in the center console to get that adjusted to the right spot. And I had to flip ahead all the way to page 87 to find the adjustable rudder pedals for the install. So I think maybe there should be a reference made in the event you are installing them. Please turn ahead to page 87 and install the adjustable flap handles at this point so that you can not have to do all the drilling like I did and have to cover up a bunch of mistakes. So I don't believe this is going to structurally affect the aircraft, so I think I can proceed. I am going to give Kit Fox a call though, just to double check that I don't need to use any structural adhesive in addition to the rivets, because I think the rivets do a good job of holding them, but I'll get their take on it and see what they say. So if you liked what you saw, go ahead and click on the like button, the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed, and the little bell for notifications for future content, because they're going to keep coming out every Monday. So we'll see you on the next one. Have a good day.